Welcome everyone to this new episode of the Privacy Rules Privacy Espresso series. Today we have one of our members, which is Endre Várady from the law firm VJT Partners in Hungary. Endre is a partner and an expert in relation to the matters that are concerning our alliance. And among the many things, one of the topics that are very much addressed by him as well as many other of our professional team is AI, which is the topic of today, because today we're going to speak about AI policies. To give you a bit of an overview on which is the situation, we know that we have had a boom of generative AI, which is a tool that has been used more and more by companies in order to develop and strengthen their business. So it's definitely a positive thing to use it. But on the other side, we have noticed, or better, our experts have noticed that too often the risks are not enough considered. And this is something that normally you do whenever you draft or work around a usage policy that gives you the indications or where you define the ways in which you're going to use AI. So that's the topic of today. First of all, Endre, thanks a lot for being with us.
Good morning, Alessandro. Great to see you. It is always good when I can meet you. It's morning time, but hopefully this topic will wake us up like an espresso. Yes, you are definitely spot on. With the rise of ChatGPT and other generative AI tools, all businesses are heavily affected across various sectors. And often they do not realize it. Why I'm saying this? That they many times think that they are just users. They just use ChatGPT in everyday work. So what is the big deal? Well, it is a big deal for more reasons. First of all, here is the AI Act. Many businesses are not aware that when they use some simple use cases, they can be affected by AI Act. For example, if HR team suddenly decides to implement a recruitment AI tool, they could out of the blue fall under the high category AI Act. So this means that we must raise awareness. But on the other hand, this is not just about AI Act and the regulatory label, because even when AI tools are considered as a low-risk category, then without proper safeguards, businesses can still face a lot of risks from data breaches through copyright claims to business reputation, everything. So this is why it is very important to build up a safe, responsible AI policy, not just because of compliance, but also to build trust with the customers, partners, and the employees. And ultimately, this is not just about compliance, but survival in the era of digital transformation.
That's a key point, and thanks a lot, Endre, for this introduction on the topic. We could already understand why it's relevant to speak about the usage of AI policies. In my introduction, and also you were briefly mentioning about the risks that are related to generative AI and in general the fact that the usage of a policies can help to identify and avoid them. So what are exactly those risks we are talking about?
Yeah, on one hand, there are many huge benefits, and this is why we have this hype, but we do not talk about risk enough. And there are many risks. We cannot cover them today all. But let me just highlight a few that businesses should be definitely mindful. First of all, leakage of confidential information. Sensitive information entered into publicly available tools could easily leak. Samsung, for example, experienced this firsthand when its confidential information was exposed through ChatGPT. This is why it is very important to ensure to use just enterprise form of these tools. Second, hallucination. It is also very common. These tools generate factually wrong outputs, but unfortunately in a very convincing way. So we can be misled very easily. So over-reliance is a very serious issue, and this could lead to serious business mistakes. Discrimination, another classic example. Amazon, for example, its recruitment tools famously favored men over women due to biased data. This discrimination issue could lead to regulatory and litigation implications. And we also have copyright issues with copyrighted outputs and inputs. Data protection issues are really deeply connected with AI's behavior due to its black box nature and vast collection of data. And we also have cybersecurity issues. For example, data poisoning when malicious inputs are entered into AI model are very common. So all these examples shows that businesses must handle generative AI with clear policy, strong controls, and continuous oversight.
Yeah, that's and let me start from your last point, because I think is the key one. You know, we addressed that there are several risks. So what should an AI policy contain, and you know what should identify, and how should move companies?
Yeah, sure. Again, there is a lot to cover, but let me give some key takeaways. First of all, mandatory human review. So human review is non-negotiable. You always have to check the outputs very carefully and never rely blindly on AI outputs. That is a very essential one. Second, safe and clean inputs. Inputs could matter as much as outputs. Make sure that employees never enter copyrighted material or confidential information without authorization. Always use as prompts only safe and clean inputs. Third, authorization of AI tools and use cases. Only authorized tools can be used in the organization. Very important to be able to oversee what's happening. And also, whenever there is a new use case, it always must go through very careful internal review. Fourth, you need clear data usage policy. You have to explain to employees how to use personal data responsibly. Always minimize the personal data entered into AI tools to the extent it is absolutely necessary. And where possible, also use traceability and access control mechanisms also to address cybersecurity threats. Anonymization is also an issue. Whenever possible, use anonymization also for business data and personal data. But be aware that it is a bit more complex. It is not just about anonymizing names, and re-identification is a serious issue. But good digitalization tools can make this process safer and faster. And last but not least, you have to be prepared when something goes wrong. You have to need an AI incident response mechanism to address incidents, to investigate and de-escalate any escalation.
Thanks, Endre. That was extremely interesting. I think that one of the key points that is emerging from this last part of our discussion is related to the fact that there is a high risk of human error, meaning that there might be risks that are associated with employees that puts into the system, into the AI information that shouldn't be there, or that are not prepared to use a plan, that they don't know a plan. So there is probably also a lot of training needed around this, which brings me to my next question. How do AI training and governance come along with AI policy?
Yeah, okay, I will try to be super concise. So the key point is that AI usage policy could never stand alone. It must always go together with AI governance framework, the robust one, and active AI literacy program. We need AI governance program so that we could continuously oversight and monitor and handle new use cases under an organizational structure with proper role and responsibilities. And we also need this structure so that we can monitor whether the policy is updated. With the proper framework, we have to make the policy into a living one and not just a rule book. So if I would use a metaphor, I would say that without governance framework, AI policy is like a car without a steering vehicle. You can drive it, but you will not know where you will go. And AI literacy is equally important because employees must understand not just the benefits of AI, but the risks, limitations, and responsibilities. So again, using the same metaphor, for employees must be safe drivers. And ultimately, we need AI governance and AI literacy to make AI policy into a living part of the organization.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Endre. That was extremely useful. To conclude, I just have the classic final question, which is, which are your recommendations to companies when to build an AI policy? What should they do? What should they consider?
Well, I would just highlight some key tips to make the AI policy workable in practice. First of all, tailor it to your processes. Never use templates, but be aware that your policy must fit into your organization processes. Second, be comprehensive, but also flexible. As you could see, we have to cover a lot of areas, but at the same time, we have to be adaptable because a lot of things are happening and we need to address the changes. And this goes to the next point, stay ahead of the AI. Monitor the newest developments, and whenever there is a new technology change, address those changes. Do not wait until problems arise. Fourth one, be aware also of innovation need. It is not just about compliance, but innovation. Do not be over rigid. And last, use real examples in your AI policy and training materials, because the more we use examples, the better the employees will understand it and use AI responsibly. So overall, we need a dynamic and flexible, but yet realistic approach. And all this integrated with AI literacy and AI governance framework could make an AI policy to true asset of the company.
That's great, Endre. I think the lesson learned from the key outcomes is don't overcomplicate things. Try to keep it simple, have a good understanding on what you're doing and how you are handling it, and explain it well, and everything should be good. Of course, the advice is always the one of being in touch or be supported by experts, as you are, to be driven in doing things in the right way. Privacy Rules is happy to support with these AI experts as Endre is. Feel free to contact us anytime. Endre, I would like to thank you very much for being with us, as well as our listeners. So looking forward to meet all our listeners online again next week. Bye everyone, and thanks, Endre, again.